Survival. This instinct alone has brought about many last-ditch efforts for the preservation of an animal's self, and out of pure desperation, it turns to its last resort and does the unthinkable. It engages in mortal combat, going toe-to-toe with a beast it otherwise wouldn't dare clash with, devolving into a frantic struggle between the two beasts. This was the case for these unlikely duelists, being the Velociraptor and Protoceratops, captured permanently in time in what is considered the most dramatic and deadliest duel of prehistory. Be sure to stick around to the end to see just how this duel might have played out. In 1971, the fossils of the fighting dinosaurs were discovered by a Polish-Mongolian team embedded in the white sandstone cliffs of the southern Gobi Desert. This is also known as the Jadokta Formation at Tugrikan Shire, Mongolia. Despite the findings of the discovery, these two dinosaurs were unlikely enemies. The Protoceratops wasn't the natural prey of the Velociraptor, meaning they would likely have not gone head-to-head under natural circumstances. Why would this be, though? Obviously, the Velociraptor was a big, scary, unstoppable predator compared to the Protoceratops, right? Well, the answer is no. Let's make things clear. The Velociraptor was nothing as portrayed in the Jurassic Park and Jurassic World movies. They weren't man-sized beasts, but rather around the size of turkeys. The Velociraptor from the iconic movies was based mostly on its cousins, the much larger and more ferocious Utah raptor, which was around 3 times larger in height and length. Adult velociraptors would have measured between 4.9 to 6.8 feet long, or 1.5 to 2.07 meters from head to tail. But with them being so short, in the terms of dinosaurs, means that they would have been relatively short at approximately 1.6 foot tall, or half a meter at the hips. And, since it has a slim body, it was also lightweight, weighing about 31 to 43 pounds, equivalent to 14.1 to 19.7 kilograms. Making the larger Velociraptor specimens about the equivalent weight to the average domesticated turkey. The Protoceratops, on the other hand, was a heavyweight compared to the Velociraptor, this being as it was bigger and bulkier. The Protoceratops reached lengths from 6.6 to 8.2 feet, or 2 to 2.5 meters long, and stood approximately 2 feet at the hips. With the extra length came the extra mass, as it weighed anywhere from 137 to 229 pounds, or 62 to 104 kilograms, making the Protoceratops comparable to the weight of the average ram. But, according to the Velociraptor, that would make it around 3.2 to 5.3 times heavier than the largest Velociraptor specimens. In this case, that's akin to an average man squaring up to a sumo wrestler. Good luck with that. Being as the Velociraptor was a small creature, that also means that it had a small menu. Not that the actual list of things it would eat was small, but that the majority of what it ate was small. The Velociraptor's diet would most likely have consisted of small mammals and reptiles that would have been able to be easily tracked down, overpowered, and killed. However, it might have even hunted small infant dinosaurs. This could have included young Protoceratops, as well as baby Oviraptor and the Pachycephalosaurus, or just straight up eating any unattended eggs. This is because the Velociraptor was never meant to take down very large prey, but it was effective at taking down similar to smaller-sized dinosaurs, which were defenseless, ill, or crippled. Why do I say this? Because this little fella was built like a hunter. It was swift and agile, having long legs, and was likely able to sprint upwards of 40 miles an hour for short periods of time. It also brandished clawed hands and feet that had a sickle-shaped talon that would have made for effective tools used to injure, subdue, and grip its prey. Its jaws, on the other hand, would have been capable of rapid snapping bites, also allowing it to catch and subdue prey before dispatching it with said jaws. These jaws would have had flat, serrated teeth that would have been ideal for slicing flesh. Unlike the Velociraptor, the Protoceratops wasn't built to be offensive, but nor was it the most defensive, as it didn't have horns. Its later relatives would go on to develop these horns that would have been used for defensive measures, such as the infamous Triceratops. However, it is likely that the Protoceratops was quite agile, having sturdily built hind limbs, but likely not the fastest creature. Though its speed is unknown, its estimates are around 10 miles an hour running. Beside that, its head would have been its most reliable defense in an inescapable confrontation. Its skull hosted a parrot-like beak and a small frill at the back. This beak was capable of a powerful bite, which is typically used to mulch vegetation, but can be used offensively if needed. Now getting to what you've all been waiting for, let's set the scene. These two legendary combatants existed anywhere from 74 to 70 million years ago during the late Cretaceous, which is about the time frame at which the two species coexisted with each other, and these two made their final battle. The battleground and environment that both lived in has changed very little since their time. It is a desert now, and was a desert back during the late Cretaceous. This arid environment would likely have had a scarce supply of food for both of the combatants, which might just have been the reason for the Velociraptor's reckless assault on the Protoceratops. Perhaps it might have been a territorial dispute between the two. However, the answer is likely to be left unanswered. If you would like, comment your thoughts and speculations over what might have provoked this ancient duel in the first place. Now, with all the knowledge at hand, how would this struggle for survival have played out? Seeing as the Protoceratops have a very distinct size and mass advantage, in typical cases the Protoceratops would most likely just win, especially if it isn't injured or ill. But this is a special case, with different circumstances, so let's see how it plays out. The Velociraptor would have likely leaped from cover onto the back of the Protoceratops in an ambush, intending to inflict deep wounds with its killing claw. The Protoceratops, unwilling to die without a fight, would have bucked until its attacker was sent tumbling to the ground, at which point the Protoceratops began its counterattack, stepping on the Velociraptor and biting down on its right forelimb, snapping it in two as the predator lashes back. During this struggle, the Velociraptor manages to get the upper hand and gets its deadly killing claw embedded in the neck of the Protoceratops. However, the confrontation would go unfinished as the ground beneath them began to shift. It was either a sudden sandstorm that swept across the desert or a sand dune that collapsed onto them that forever sealed their fate. In a matter of moments, the combatants were engulfed by sand, burying them rapidly, freezing them in their final struggle. By the way, if you want to learn more about the echoes of our world's past, don't forget to show some support by hitting the like and subscribe buttons. See you next time.